Hello, everybody. We're the Geeks and Degenerates. Today I'm Enzo. Yeah, of course. And this is my favorite co-host, John. And today we're doing Saw, the first one, directed by James Wan, and starring Cary Elwes, the guy from Princess Bride. Yeah.
He was?
Yeah.
Oh my god, he was!
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just a little chubbier now.
Yeah.
Much older. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it. Okay.
His cellmate is the director of Upgrade and the
Oh.
Invisible Woman, and that is in like a werewolf picture this year, I think, or next year. Yeah, next year. But yeah, this is the start of a very long and I would say interesting franchise. And I kind of wish James Wan stuck with it, since he didn't direct the rest, and obviously
Yeah.
became much more graphic, to say the least. But I do like the feel of this one. I love the dinginess and the grit and the disgustingness of it. Like it's just two guys in a cell, and they're wondering what they did in life to end up here.
I do like that. Because I don't think I watched the first one. I think this is my first time watching it. Because I could have sworn I watched it before.
Yeah,
But when I watched this one, I was like, wait a minute. I guess I just went off like what the other movies kind of gave us about the first part. Because like right in the recent one,
yeah,
they showed us like the area where the first one was like held at.
yeah. I've never
And
seen the recent one. I haven't kept up since number 3, or whatever number 3 and whatever Chester Bennington
yeah.
was in. Um,
Oh fuck yeah, that was sick. But anyway, yeah, like I don't know. I'm never really a Saw guy. Like I know it's kind of cool back in our high school where
yeah,
if you watched Saw or Final Destination and you could handle the gore,
yeah,
you were kind of like cool to the other dudes.
yeah.
But here I just really couldn't stand just like the torture porn. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah, I'm sure it's
But
fine. I mean, James Janice says it, so it's fine.
all right, yeah, it's just yeah, to me it's just torture porn where I'm just like, eh,
Yeah,
I'm not really into it, but watching this, and I did tell Enzo before we started filming that it was kind of a chore to watch.
yeah,
It was an intriguing first movie.
yeah,
Like it, I wish it just did that all throughout instead of like, all right, our first victim is this person, our other victim is this person, and then we have like this like the room. What was it called? Yeah, it was like the room kind of
yeah.
like concept where there's a couple of survivors and they have to figure out how to get out and go into the next room.
Oh, yeah. You mean Panic Room?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like it has that kind of concept. I was not really a big fan of that. Like it's just gore after gore. I like the puzzle solving. I like the do I trust this person? What's their backstory?
yeah,
Like that shit was really fun for me.
yeah. And you're just following these two guys for like half of this movie, and you're wondering why,
Yeah.
if ever they have any relationship with each other, and you find out like later on in the plot, like the one guy, Lee Whannell's character is like a photographer, like following the doctor Adam around because Adam is not the best with like when it comes to marriage and like keeping up his relationship, and you're like, but like that's a pattern you find out about Jigsaw, that he punishes the people who are worse, and then later on he becomes a hypocrite, and you're like, I don't follow your philosophy, man.
No, yeah, that's one thing I kind of like when a villain has a code, kind of
Yeah,
like the Predator, where he's like, you're not worth it, so I'm not gonna kill you."
yeah,
But with Jigsaw, it's like his main motivation is to get people who don't appreciate life, because he's dying of cancer.
yeah.
Oh, poor you. My God, I might get kidnapped later tonight, but uh,
And trapped in a room with someone
but
taking your photos.
yeah. Hey, I'm not. I ain't
Hey,
no cheater.
of course
Excuse
not.
me.
I mean, you might be up to shady stuff, but you're no cheater. I'm kidding. Of course not.
Who
Anyway,
told you? No, but like, yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I find Jigsaw, the whole concept of Jigsaw was kind of cool. If I watched this movie first, I would have felt like,
Yeah.
Okay, but I watched the other movies and I'm like, okay, dude, you're just being an ass now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you didn't give kids candy on Halloween. You appreciate life. So just
Die.
stick this gun in your mouth. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh god.
Yeah. And this is the first movie that introduces that reverse bear trap and introduces Amanda, like who
Hmm.
later on plays on bigger roles in the Saw franchise. But like that whole setup is just so unique and iconic now that like you can't think of Saw and not think of the reverse bear trap because like
Hmm.
since it wasn't as sensationalized as is now, like seeing it for the first time, you're like, what the fuck is that supposed to be? And you see how
Yeah.
it could end you, and you're like, yeah, you should get it off immediately. And you see what poor
Like,
Amanda has to go
now.
through. Yeah, now, please.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah. Anyway, like, also Danny Glover's here.
Oh yeah, as a cop, like, I'm
Yeah.
like, of course he's a cop in this movie. Um,
Man already went through Predator.
yeah, and Lethal Weapon, and you're like, of course you're a cop in a movie. Why not? But yeah, I like the fact that he's the only, aside from Cary Elwes, he's the only big actor here, and you're like, and you look up the budget, you're like, oh, it's just $1 million flat, or like 1.2 million. You're like,
Hmm.
you see how James Wan works well with like low budgets. Of course, when time goes on and he has bigger budgets, quality of his films are not the best. Like with Aquaman,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, or Aquaman 2.
Or and the Annabelle movies, or like any of like the recent Conjuring ones.
Yeah,
But
after the
hey,
first
yeah,
one, you're like, it's fine.
yeah, like I will say though, he was a really great director back in the day, but nowadays I don't find any of the movies he puts out scary.
For me, it's
No
kind.
offense, James Wan.
It depends on how much the budget is. If it's like less than $1 million, I'm like, all right, let's see what you do. If it's like another Aquaman, I'm like, I don't like it.
You're just like you're just like, hey, I'll give you a couple million to make me the best horror movie, and it's shit. And he's like, what's my budget for this movie? $2, and it'll be the best thing you'll ever see.
Exactly. um, but yeah, I do love the twist at the end where you find out Jigsaw is in the room. He's the guy you thought offed himself. And you're like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I was like, what? Yeah, same here. I was like, what?
yeah,
But I was like, if I was him, I would have been like, I'm cramping up.
right,
I gotta move position.
yeah. And he's terminally
'Cause-
sick too. You're like, how are you not dying inside?
Yeah, and you see him just like when he gets on, he's like, like yeah.
Yeah,
When you're stuck like that for hours on end in
Yeah.
that position, trying to play dead,
yeah,
like yeah, I'll be like,
yeah. You thought
But-
the entire time the bad guy was the guy from Lost, and you're like, oh, you're not the bad guy. You're not. You're the one with like a terminal poison in your blood, but you're not the one who really has a terminal illness. And then you find out it's Jigsaw, and Jigsaw's been in the room, and that's when you get the iconic slamming of the door and game over. You're like, oh,
yeah,
cool.
that shit was cool though. That was kind of cool.
Yeah,
And like, but yeah, we never heard from what happened to what's his name,
the doctor, Adam.
the doctor. Yeah, like he's like, I'll get help. You're shot in the shoulder, but I'm bleeding from the foot I just cut off. But
Yeah.
I'll be back.
Yeah, you see when that happened, you see the difference between this Saw movie and the other Saw movies. Where here it just feels more natural, where the doctor's like, "Fuck it, I'm tired of this shit, tired of being your puppet," and just saws off his
Yeah.
own foot because he's like, "I have no other choice." And like, it's not like the other Saw movies where Chester Bennington is like glued to a car seat because he's a racist, and you're like, "How is he supposed to get out of this again?"
Yeah, yeah.
Or like,
I feel like it felt more personal when it came to that, where you're like, there's a phone call, he doesn't know what's happening, he doesn't know his wife and child is okay,
yeah,
but he's just like in pure desperation, and so he just cuts off his foot, and I'm like, huh, okay, I didn't look at that scene, I really just like, I was like, I don't want to,
yeah, and it.
but I was like, kind of like, you know what, if I was in this position, if those were my kids, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah. Like, and it feels graphically real. It's not like what you see on The Boys or other Saw movies where you're like when A-Train runs over Robin, you're like, well, that's exaggerated and that's unfortunate.
Where it's just a mist of red, and I'm just like, wait.
Yeah.
Here, it's a little too real, which kind of grossed me out even more. If it was just like, you know how like Japanese gore does it, where it's just spraying
Yeah,
blood
oh
in your
yeah,
face,
yeah, yeah.
just like, you know.
It's like
I've been like,
I'm watching that James Franco movie all over again, but this
yeah,
time to Saw.
exactly. Yeah, instead of like a serial killer, it's Mother Nature.
Yeah, exactly. Um, but yeah, I do like this indie style Saw movie. Like,
Hmm.
I really wish it just stick to this of like, we're individuals trapped in this scenario, or an individual that's trapped here. Maybe we did something wrong that pissed somebody off, or maybe we're just bad people. And like, if it just
Hmm.
stuck to like its roots, or if it just ended with this, I'm sure people would be like, that was a solid standalone movie. Uh,
I agree. If it just stayed as this movie, that would have been like, whoa, you know.
yeah,
I've been cool with that. You know, like we'll never know what happens.
yeah,
We'll never know if like John Kramer gets caught.
yeah, yeah.
Is that his name, right? Kramer.
No, I think that's literally from Kramer versus Kramer. Don't know what you're talking. Jigsaw?
Yeah, his name's like John Kramer or something.
Oh wait, no, 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 no. I'm the confused one. Yeah, it's John Kramer. I thought you were talking about the actor for some reason.
No, no.
But
John Kramer. Yep, I'm sorry.
sorry, my bad. But yeah, I forgot what the recent Saw movie was. Wasn't it the one with Samuel
It's the one with
Jackson?
Chris Rock.
Yeah, and Sam Jackson.
Yeah,
I heard it was
Sam
horrible.
Jackson, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I didn't see it.
I saw Dead Meat's video because I'm like, sometimes if I'm not sure, I'm like, let's see what James thinks, and he's like, it's bad. I was like, oh, okay, sure,
Yeah.
I'll skip this one. But yeah, do you have anything thing to add for Saw '04?
Uh, Not gonna lie, like I'm. It's one of those cases where like the first one was the best one.
Yeah,
In my opinion, this was the best one. It's sure. I guess it's cool for some people to see like a person fall into a tub of syringes.
okay,
Or,
fuck,
like,
I forgot, and then I remembered.
I hated that shit when she's just like, ah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
but-
like Bane carried her and then threw her in, right?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Just like, yeah, I'm good. You know, like I don't really want to see that all the fucking time.
Yeah,
Here it was tastefully done. Like, with the guy with the barbed wires. They didn't really show everything, but
Yeah.
like, you could see the struggle. I was like, that's cool.
yeah.
And the guy who,
Burned alive.
got burned alive. Like, I guess that's why we were like, oh, I guess we kind of want to see more of Saw and like his other victims. Not my cup of tea, but if it is, to each your own.
Yeah, you mentioned the crimes. It kind of feels like a lesser Seven. Like, not to insult it, but like it feels like Seven with like gorier traps.
No, I feel like it's 7, but it just mostly focused on Kevin Spacey. If that was the case.
Oh
You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah, and like the victims themselves instead of like the cops trying to like look for him. By the way, after watching copious amounts of horror movies for this fucking channel, why would anyone ever want to be an FBI agent?
I don't know, man. But
Like I won't be able to stomach it. After one case, I've been like, you know what? Traffic enforcer's fine with me.
what did you rate it again?
Oh, I didn't rate it. Fuck.
Yeah.
I saw the first one on like 7.5. Like, it's not something I would want to watch if it was Halloween. You know, not my cup of tea. But the intrigue, not gonna lie, was there, and I'm like, it kind of like got me at the edge of my seat. I'm just like looking and I'm like, well, that's kind of messed up.
Yeah.
I had fun with them solving their way out and like just not really making it at the end. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, after like I think the other movies you find out like none of them made it, so I was just like that kind of ruins it. The whole like
Oh yeah.
did they make it out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in the second one or like third one that they finally explained that what happened.
Well, correct us if we're wrong, but like yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, it's a 7.5 for me. Not my cup of tea.
I'll bump it up to 8 for myself. I do like the creativity and like just the grime and grit of such a movie. Like if we're gonna make a movie on the about this plot, it might just be like make us feel like we're in a dirty and grimy and dingy place, like the characters.
Yeah, by the way, they kept touching the pipes and it was all nasty. I was like, stop touching the pipes.
My threshold was when he put his hand in the toilet.
In the toilet, I was actually like,
and then he reached into the back and then he's like, "Oh wow, I found it."
yeah, I wish we looked here first.
Yeah.
By the way, who was like really John Kramer went all the way to just like smear his finger in poop and just drew a heart on the toilet?
Yeah. Or maybe it was the other guy where he's like, I poisoned you, now you have no choice but to do what I want. He's like, okay. But yeah, 8 and then 7. It's a good James Wan movie, and like unfortunately you are right. It's getting lesser and lesser. I know he's working on RoboCop for Amazon, and I'm like, maybe. Just maybe.
I might be it.
Yeah.
I have a good feeling for that one.
Yeah.
Oddly enough.
Yeah. To the audience and to John, what's the nastiest shot that you've ever seen so far? I say so far as if you're going to watch more, but yeah.
God, what was the one where he had to like get the key from his eye? I forgot which Saw movie that was.
Oh God!
Yeah. Like he had like the key was like lodged in his eye. I was like, no, thank you. Sure, the syringes were kind of horrible.
Yeah.
But like, it's right there.
Yeah.
You know?
I have the one where they have to like one guy who's like chubby has to like cut off pieces of his flesh, and to like match the requirement. Like
Yeah. I know that one.
And then the other one's the carousel with like a shotgun attached to it, when the guy has to decide, like, which one of his employees he has to kill and which.
Yeah. I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, that was the one where it was like the panic rooms where there's a group of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a coworker who was like, I really like the trilogy, and I was like, I thought that too, and I just watched the Chester Bennington one because I was curious.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Yeah, but I remember.
In peace, Chester.
Yeah, rest in peace, Chester. But yeah, I was just curious, but that movie was also horrible in terms of everything. And it was in 3D too, when 3D was being shoved down our throats.
Yeah. So like when somebody's like head blows up, you just see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, thanks 3D. May you rest in peace, and may you never come back. To be honest, 'cause I'm done with that face.
I agree.
Yeah.
You really do agree.
Yeah. But yeah,
Never like 3D.
Same here. But yeah, that's been our video for Saw 04. What do you guys think? What's your favorite entry in this long franchise? Whatever it is, comment down below. And what's the nastiest death that you've seen in this franchise, if you want to comment on that. And if you want us to do Final Destination, maybe we can squeeze that in for Halloween, either this year or next year, at least until we get to the logs one. That's just 2.
Okay.
But yeah, if you like what you see, please leave a like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We're also on Spotify and TikTok to see your best and funniest moments. Spotify to hear us on the go. Individuum Zoda's voices on TikTok and Ends Wolf on Letterboxd. Where can they find you?
Oh, you can find me at JomJam_ on Instagram. It is my account.
And until the next time, we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Ciao.